Hello, good morning, dear students. Welcome to English Grammar and Spoken English class. My dear students, you might have enjoyed the earlier class. Today, I am going to concentrate on pronunciation. So, we will have some practice in spoken English. Your examinations might have been over, and you might be watching cricket commentaries, and you might be enjoying them also. But, dear friends, have you noticed that when you listen to commentaries which is given by Indian commentators and when the same is given by some foreign commentators, we find some differences. When we listen to the commentaries that is given by Indian commentators, we can understand many of the things. But when the same commentary is given by foreign authors, we might have some difficulties. And the reason is pronunciation. The way we speak English in India and the way the native speakers use their language, there are certain changes, and the basic changes are in pronunciation. But before we begin our session, let me give you my introduction. Myself is Professor Harit S. Patel, lecturer in English, Uma Arts and Nathiba Commerce Mahila College, Gandhinagar. So let us start our session. As I have informed you that the basic difference between Indian English and native English is in pronunciation. So we have some problems because we are not acquainted with the way English is spoken in native land. So when we use the word native English, let us make our concept clear first. Native users of English are the people from Britain, America, New Zealand, Australia, South Africa, and some other countries. So, let us see this concept with slides. We will see the first slide and you can concentrate on which is written in the slide. First of all, we will see the difference between mother tongue and English. As I have explained earlier, English as we speak in India does not differ from the native English in grammar and vocabulary but in pronunciation. Here 4 words are important: native English, grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation. As I have already explained, native English means the speakers which use English in England, America, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa. So, Indian English and native English is same as far as grammar and vocabulary is concerned. We use the same rules of grammar in India. We use the same vocabulary words in India, but we differ from native English in pronunciation. So in the subsequent slides, we will see what type of differences are there and why our pronunciation differ from native users of English language. So let us see one by one. So first question is, why does this change happen? Why do we have difference of pronunciations? So let us read it. When we speak in English, we retain the phonetic patterns of our mother tongue. My dear friends, our mother tongue is Gujarati, our national tongue is Hindi, and English may be our third language or a foreign language. So from our childbirth, we have acquired mother tongue. We are very much familiar with how to speak Gujarati, but we don't have that much practice of listening and speaking English. That is why this type of problem occurs. When we speak in English or when we listen to English, we try to visualize the way we have learnt our mother tongue. So this problem occurs. Phonetic patterns, the way we learn the sound system of our language. So our sound system of Gujarati language is in our subconscious mind, and whenever we speak in English, So we follow this sound system of Gujarati. Now let us see the next slide. If there is a problem between Gujarati language and English language, then what happens then? When we speak in English, we speak it as per the phonetic patterns of our mother tongue, so it sounds sometimes unintelligible. When we speak English in India, we don't have much problem. But when any foreigner listens to us, he might not understand us, he does not understand our English language, and that is due to pronunciation, because very often the pronunciations which we use differ from native English. So let us see what happens then. First of all, we will concentrate on the phonetic pattern of Gujarati language and then English language. In Gujarati language, each letter of a word is spoken and each sound can be written in individual letter. We have very good practice of writing and speaking Gujarati. So when we write in Gujarati, every letter of a spelling can be pronounced and every sound has an individual letter with which we can write Gujarati language. So we can say in Gujarati language, every letter of a word is spoken, and as far as sounds are concerned, every sound has an individual letter. So in Gujarati language, there is a correspondence between the way we write and the way we speak, but the same thing does not happen in English language. So let us see in the next slide. In English, very often each letter of a word is not spoken and each sound of a word is not written as it happens in Gujarati. So here the difference between Gujarati language and English language is given here. In English, there is no relation between a spelling and its pronunciation. For example, if we take the word P-U-T, it is pronounced as put. Another word, B-U-T, it is not pronounced as but, but it is but. So here we can see the difference in pronunciation, and there are innumerable words in English in which we don't have the connection between spelling and pronunciation. That is why we have difficulties in listening to English at the same time to come out with exact pronunciations. In English, we have to prepare the spellings and their relation with pronunciations. That is why very often we find English very much difficult. So here in this session, I will give you some idea. It is not possible to give the complete idea, but at least I will try to acquaint you with these basic differences so that you might have some idea about the differences between Indian English and native English. Let us see it. Individual letter or letters, when used in spelling, may have varied pronunciations. Sometimes one or more letters are not spoken at all. In English spellings and pronunciation, we have two types of problems. Sometimes when we write A individually on the blackboard, we pronounce it as A. When we write B on the blackboard, we pronounce it as B, C, D. So we have 26 letters, and in this way we have 26 symbols or pronunciations. But when we speak in English, we don't use 26 letters, but we have 44 sounds in English language. So there is a mismatch between letters which are 26 and we have English sounds which are 44. So very often one letter may have different pronunciations, sometimes 2 or 3 letters may have different pronunciations, and sometimes in English there is a problem of silent letters. Sometimes some of the letters are not spoken or they are spoken in some other way. So we will see in the next slide about this thing. In English, the sounds and letters of a word do not correspond with one another. As I have explained it, there is a mismatch between a spelling and its pronunciation. A letter or letters may not be pronounced in a word, or sometimes it may have different pronunciations than their individual pronunciations. And in the next slide, we will see about it. For example, the alphabetic letter C, when we write it individually, we pronounce this letter as C. But when the same letter is used in spellings such as camel, cart, cricket, cinema, sight, etc., has different pronunciations. So let us concentrate on these words first. For example, camel. So you can notice that it starts with C, but when we pronounce it, it is called K, camel. Similarly, in the next spelling, cart, we call it K, cricket. So similarly, it starts with K sound. And in the next two words, for example, cinema and sight, the same C is pronounced as S sound. Cinema, S, sight, S. So here you can notice the same C letter, when it is used in spellings and when we pronounce it, it has two different pronunciations. One is K and another is S. So it happens in many of the cases of English letters, they have varied pronunciations. So sometimes it is difficult for us which pronunciations to use, and that is why we have this type of problems. Let us observe the next slide. We have another example. For example, English letter A. Its pronunciation, when it is used individually, it is called A. Now when the same letter is used in spelling such as alone, aside, arm, art, any, ant, surface, date, and village, then we find different pronunciations of the same letter. Let us study the examples once again. For example, the word alone. So, the pronunciation of first letter A in this case is A, alone. In the second letter, aside. So, we have similar pronunciation A. Now, in the third spelling, arm, the same A has been called A. In the next spelling, art, the same letter A, here we pronounce it as A. In the next word, any, so A is pronounced as A. And surface, so once again we have AE, surface. Date, so instead of A we have AE. And village, so the same letter A is pronounced as E. So here in this case we have 4 or 5 different pronunciations of letter A. So you can understand how much difficult it becomes for us to remember each and every pronunciation and spelling of English language. But if we acquaint us with this type of changes, then it can help us to understand the basic difference between Gujarati language and English language. Let us study the next slide. Another problem which we find in English language is about silent letters. When we write or speak in Gujarati, we don't have much problem. Whatever we write, we can speak, and whatever we speak, we can write. So there is no mismatch. But in English, this is not the case. In English, we have to prepare each and every spelling of a word. Only then we can find out its pronunciation, and very often, even if we prepare the spelling, it does not guarantee that we can have the exact pronunciations, and this reason is due to silent letters. In English words, sometimes it happens that one or more than one letters may not be spoken, and this case is about silent letter. Let us study some more examples in the next slide. A silent letter or letters may come either in the beginning, middle, or end of a word. So in English spelling, a silent letter may occur, or it may come in the beginning of a word, or it may be in the middle of a spelling, or it may be at the end of a word, and it may be pronounced or it may not be pronounced. So some more examples can help us to study this problem. For example, concentrate on this slide. Here the underlined letter R. We are going to study some spellings in which R is used. For example, let us concentrate on the words, and I will pronounce it and you will concentrate on my pronunciations, so that you will understand the basic difference between Gujarati, or let me tell you, the way we speak English, especially Gujarati speakers, and the way the native speakers of English use the language. First of all, I will pronounce these words the way we Gujarati speakers pronounce them. Art, bar, card, farm, hard, large, march, part, mother, father, sister, brother, master. Now I will pronounce the same words as native speakers of English pronounce them, and concentrate on it. Art, ba, card, farm, hard, large, march, part, mother, father, sister, brother, master. Have you noticed any change? When I have pronounced these words, I have not uttered R sound or R sound in these spellings. So we can understand that in English, very often R letter, when it is used in spelling, remains silent. So we don't have to pronounce R letter in words. So it is art, ba, card. So you can understand the way we speak English in Gujarat or India, and the way the native speakers use that language. So we have to develop the habit of not pronouncing a R sound in English phonetic patterns. Now let us study the next slide. In some more examples are given there, and I will pronounce as the native speakers use the language. It is corn, horse, morning, north, force, court, for, paw, before, more, toe, now, knife. Let us study some more examples. Here, some cases of other silent letters are given in some of the words. First of all, let us pronounce as we pronounce in India: castle, Christmas, calm, half, laugh, now, bought, fought, thought, awkward, chalk, talk, walk, caught, who, group, soup, through, wound, you. Now let us study these examples once again. When we pronounce the first word castle, can you notice which letter is not spoken here, or which letter is silent? We can easily understand when we pronounce castle, we don't pronounce t sound. When we pronounce Christmas, we don't pronounce t sound. When we pronounce calm, we don't pronounce l sound. When we pronounce half, we don't pronounce l sound once again. When we pronounce laugh, we don't pronounce u sound. When we pronounce now, we don't pronounce the first letter of this word k. When we pronounce bought, we don't pronounce gh. When we pronounce fought, once again we don't pronounce gh.